Hopefully you paid attention to the directions, because I told you on page 2, don't do number 3 and 4, just because I was thinking this is going to take a lot of time to do all these problems, and especially solving for putting it in standard form. So I thought I'd be nice and cut a couple of those out for us. So we're going to do number 5 and 6, and then do the last couple of problems down the bottom. So again, we want to, this is in vertex form. So we could just put the equation in the calculator and just go trace around it, menu 5-1, and find the vertex and everything else. But since we're practicing vertex form just for the fun of it, in the vertex form, you have an x minus a number, and this number is the first number in the vertex, and this is the second number in the vertex. So, and the formula is x minus, so that means that is a positive 4. So my vertex is at positive 4, comma, and that's a positive 1, so it is positive 1 at the end. And we do that. Put parentheses around it because it's a location. That is the location of the vertex. Over 4, up 1, you're on the vertex. Now, as soon as I know the vertex, do I know the axis of symmetry? Yes, it's x equals 4. All right, so before we do the rest of this one, let's go over and do the same thing, just picking out the vertex and the axis of symmetry. So this is in vertex form, so it's x minus a number inside the parentheses, or it could be x plus a number. Now, in the formula, there's a number sitting out front. Since I don't see anything, guess what number is sitting out there? Yep, there's a 1 out there. There's not a number on the end, so guess what the number is over here? Yep, you're right, there's a 0. So remember, this number and this number make my vertex. So this is the first number in the vertex, that's the second one. The formula is x minus, so this is actually a positive 3. And 0. So 3 comma 0 is where the vertex are. I go over 3 and don't jump up or down. That's the vertex of my parabola. Okay. Axis of symmetry is x equals 3. It's going right through that number on that x number on my vertex. Okay, now for the rest of these, we're just going to do it like normal. We're just going to put the equation in the calculator, graphing calculator, menu 5-1. Look at the words. When you hit menu, it says trace, so that's what we're doing is tracing, and 1 is a graph trace. So put it in there and just go, it's the left and right arrow keys. Up and down arrow keys will not move it. You just move it left and right, and you can read the little ordered pair down in the corner. Okay, so max or min. When we do this, you go graph it, and this wound up being another smiley face. So it's got a minimum. It's a low spot, so it's minimum. And of course, the minimum number is the y number in my vertex. It's 1. It never goes below 1 on the y-axis. Solutions, where is it crossing the x-axis? Because remember, solutions are my x-intercepts. So trace around it until you find the x-intercepts. Oh, this was another one that was above the x-axis, wasn't it? It was. So there were none. Sometimes there aren't any. Y-intercept, trace around it till you find that y-intercept. It's crossing at positive 9. As a matter of fact, when you hit menu 5-1, it jumped right to that, didn't it? Domain. It's got arrows on both sides, so it's going slightly right forever, and it's going slightly left forever. So my domain is all real numbers. I'm going to use them all. You can do the double R, write out the words, all real numbers, do an infinity symbol if you like. Okay, so there's that. Now we want to come back and write it in standard form. So all I have to do, now standard form also starts with y equals, and this is where we have the x squared, the x, and the number on the end. I just need to simplify this. Get rid of parentheses, do any multiplication, combine like terms. That's what we're doing. PEMDAS says start with parentheses. Can I do what's inside those parentheses? Nope, they're not like terms. I can't add the x and the negative 4 together. Next is exponents. This parentheses has an exponent outside of it, so that's what I have to do first before I multiply. So don't be doing this multiplication first. The exponent comes first. So I'm going to rewrite this part down here, just this piece here, x minus 4 times x minus 4, because that's what squaring means. X minus 4, in parentheses, times another x minus 4. That's a binomial times a binomial, so we do that double distribution. X times x, x squared. X times negative 4 is a negative 4x. Negative 4 times x, another negative 4x. Negative 4 times negative 4, positive 16. Parentheses are now gone. Combining those two like terms in the middle. This is, I'm going to move it over a little bit. So I have room x squared, negative 4, and negative 4 is minus 8x. Don't change my somethings when we're adding and subtracting, plus 16. There we go. So there's that. Now, that's just that one little piece here. So I still have a 1/2 sitting in front. I still have a plus 1 on the end. So inside parentheses here, this is 1/2. And this was plus 1 on the end. There we go, plus 1. So now, I'm not going to add first. I'm going to distribute to get rid of the parentheses first. So this becomes 1/2 x squared. I'm going to move it over here. I'll just put it right down below. 1/2 x squared. 1/2 times negative 8 is negative 4x. And 1/2 times 16 is a positive 8. Parentheses are now gone, plus 1. So everything in here is going to stay the same except this becomes plus 9. So I'm going to rewrite it up here. This is 1/2 x squared minus 4x. And 8 plus 1 is 9, so plus 9. There is my equation now in standard format with the x squared, the x, and the number all on one side. Is the y-intercept 9? Yes, it is. Is it a smiley face? Yes, it is. Okay. So some of the things that I knew were going to be there worked out. Now this one. Again, put the equation in the calculator and just go trace around it and find all these lovely attributes. So when you put it in, if you haven't done it, go ahead and pause the video and go do it. So hopefully you did that and you came back and it made another smiley face. We had a bunch of smiley faces. I think my frowny faces were the ones up there that we skipped over. Anyway, this is going to be a minimum because it's a low spot. And what is the minimum number? It's 0. My graph never goes below 0 on the y-axis. And then solutions are my x-intercept. So you traced around it, looked for them, and it only touched at one spot. It just touched at one little spot, and that was at 3. So on the x-axis, it was touching just at 3. So if you did this on the x-axis, if I did that very good, it touched right there at 3. This was 3, 2, 1, and this was 0 here. So 1, 2, 3. It touched right there at 3. Y-intercept, where did it cross the y-axis? It was up at positive 9 again. And the range, since these are going up forever, all of my y numbers go up from this point. But what is this low y number? It's at 0, because this is a y number. So everything went up from 0. The lowest point on the y-axis is 0 over here. So they go up from there. So I have a y, and I got a 0. And all my y's are bigger, so I'm going to make it eating the y and put a line underneath it because it's solid down there. So all my y's are greater than or equal to 0. None of my y's ever go below 0 down here. So standard form, we want to put it in that standard form now. We want to simplify this right-hand side. This one's not so bad because there's really nothing to add out here, and we're only multiplying by 1, which changes nothing. So all I got to do is just do this the squaring thing. So x minus 3 times x minus 3 is really all I have to do. So x minus 3 times x minus 3. I'm squaring that binomial. So x times x, I'll write it down below, x squared. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. Negative 3 times x is another negative 3x. And negative times negative is a positive 9. These two middle terms come together, so now I have x squared minus 6x and plus 9. Negative 3 plus negative 3 is negative 6. And that was the only thing I had to do because there's a 1 sitting in front of it, and multiplying by 1 doesn't change anything. And I'm adding a 0 on the end, so that doesn't change anything. So that's all I had is that piece there. So this is y equals x squared minus 6x plus 9. There is my equation in standard form. And you can see that it's quadratic because there's an x squared in it. All right, so there's that part. The bottom part is old stuff from the very first 6 weeks, which is evaluating a function notation. Remember this f of x stuff, this is your function notation. So this is the equation they gave you. They say this is the f function, this is the g function, this is an h function. It's just a way for them to label different functions. They want you to find the value of f of 4. So they want you to take this f function, and what are you going to substitute in for the x? See how there's a 4 in the parentheses? See how there was an x in the parentheses? So we substituted in a 4 for the x. That means everywhere there's x's over here, we're going to substitute a 4 in. So 2 ways to do this. You could either do table, when x is 4, because that's what we substituted in for x was a 4, we want to know what the y number is. So you could take this equation, type it in the calculator, in the graphing calculator, the graph icon. F of x equals is already in the calculator. You're just going to type in x squared plus 2x minus 3. Hit enter. Go look at the table. Control T. Scroll down to where x is 4 and see what the number is. So if you like tables, go put it in the table. If you're a plug and chug person, and if you don't have a graphing calculator, plug and chug. Plug and chug is the way you'll do it. So what do we substitute in for x? We're substituting a 4. So over here, I'm just doing the math on this side. Wherever there's a parentheses, or wherever there's an x, I put parentheses. Plus 2, parentheses, subtract 3. What are we dropping in for the x's? 4's. So 4's go inside the parentheses. You can type that all in the calculator as is. Parentheses 4, close parentheses, square it, plus 2, parentheses 4, close parentheses, subtract 3. Hit enter, and it will tell you the answer just like the table will. Either way you do this, you're going to get the number. Go do it. See if you got it. Pause the video. Hopefully you came back. It is number 20, positive 21 is the number on that. So whether you did the table or you did this in the calculator, you got 21. So So same thing here, function notation. This is shorthand for find y when x is 16. Because see how this is using the g equation, and x is in the parentheses. They used a 16 in the parentheses. So they're saying when x is 16, what is the y? Usually they give you the x. Sometimes they'll give you the y and say find the x. And we'll do some of those just before the STAR test, just so you can see them. But generally they say, here's the x, go find the y. So either the table, putting the whole equation in the graphing icon, and looking at Control T and look at the table. Or plug and chug. I have in the add subtract screen, 4 minus, now where the x is, remember, put another set of parentheses, and then I close the parentheses that are in the problem and square it. And this has got a 16 inside there. So you would type this in the calculator just like that and hit enter. Either way you do it, you get the number. Come on, you need to do it on your own, and then come check and see if you got it right. Pause the video, go do it. Okay, hopefully you've already paused the video and you're coming back. It was 48. If you got 48, you were right, yay. Last one, same thing. Here it is in function notation, h of x equals, this is like your y equals. So this is, in your calculator, you just put y equal, well, it already has a f of x in the calculator, you're just going to type in the right-hand side. They just labeled this particular one h, but we're going to substitute what in for the x? 11. So again, use your table. You're looking in the table when x is 11. Go see what the y is. If you're doing plug and chug, again, you're just doing the right-hand side. Wherever the x's are, you put a parentheses there, and it's being squared. Plus 1, close the parentheses that was here, plus 16. Just go, and we're dropping in what number? 11. So you drop that in there. Just do this math in the calculator, and you've got the answer. Or do table Control T and look for when x is 11. This one wound up being, drum roll, 626. Hopefully you got that one right. And these are getting easier for you because I know it's been a while since we've done those, but hopefully it's coming back to you. All right. Come back tomorrow for more fun and games on quadratics. See you then.